Okay, now SI system. In SI system, there are 7 fundamental quantities. In SI system, there are 7 fundamental quantities. Fundamental quantity. What are those fundamental quantities? Length, mass, time, length, mass, time, temperature, next electric current, next illuminating power, okay, next quantity of matter, what is the last one? Temperature, electric current, illuminating power, okay, quantity of matter. 7 are there now. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, there are 7 fundamental quantities are there. So scientists found that there are 7 fundamental quantities in the universe. With the help of these 7 fundamental quantities, they felt that any other physical quantity can be derived, can be described. Okay, here in SI system, SI units. In SI system, what are the units of this length, mass, etc.? Length is measured in meter. Symbol is small m. You have to remember one thing: to express the meter, to express the unit in abbreviation form, if you want to write the unit in full form, you must write in totally, you must write in small letters. Suppose if you want to write the unit in abbreviation form, if that unit is not the scientist name, remember that point. If the unit is not the scientist name, then in that unit, whatever the first letter, that must be the first letter is considered as the first letter in small letters only is considered as the unit of that quantity, fundamental quantity. Here, length is measured in meter. Length is measured in meter. Meter is not the scientist name. That's why if you want to if you want to measure the length in meters, to write meters in abbreviation form, as it is not the scientist name, simply you have to write small m. Mass, kilogram. Mass is the kilogram, small kg. Time, second. It is also not the scientist name. That's why small s. Temperature, Kelvin. Temperature is Kelvin. Is Kelvin a scientist name or not? It is the scientist name. That's why, in order to honor him, the temperature unit is given as Kelvin. So while writing in abbreviation form, as Kelvin is the scientist name, we have to write capital K like this. Okay. Electric current, ampere. Ampere is also the scientist name. That's why, in order to express the electric current in amperes with abbreviation form, as ampere is the scientist name, the first letter in ampere is cap A. That's why the symbol is capital A. Ampere is measured, the electric current is measured in ampere, whose symbol is capital A. Illuminating power, candela. It is also scientist name, so capital CD, candela. Quantity of matter, that is the mole. Symbol, of course, MOL, mole. So here, in this way, the 7 fundamental quantities are measured in SI system with the help of these units. Okay, then scientists introduced these 7 fundamental quantities, and they printed in the books, and they are ready to just distribute to different places in the world. Up to that, scientists thought that there are only 7 fundamental quantities, and they introduced here, they printed here the 7 fundamental quantities are printed, and they are taken, they are in the form of a booklet. They printed all this matter, and they ready to distribute to different places. But the students like you asked the those scientists that how we can measure plane angle. Sir, how we can measure the angle? How we can measure the plane angle? How we can measure the solid angle? What is the solid angle? What is the plane angle? I will explain. Okay, here the scientists, the people or the students like you ask the scientists that how we can measure the plane angle with the help of these 7 fundamental quantities. The scientists could not answer. The scientists could not answer. How somebody else asked how we can measure the solid angle. Even then they could not answer. Immediately they stopped to distribute all books and they made a research on this plane angle and solid angle also. And they found that these plane angle and solid angle also the 2 more fundamental quantities to be added to this list. But already books are published with these seven fundamental quantities considered. But 2 more fundamental quantities, as the student questioned, then they made the research and they said that these 2 are also treated as a fundamental quantities. But already book was published. So at that time, we cannot cancel all the books now. That's why just by introducing small booklet in that booklet, they mentioned these plane angle and solid angle. These 2 are also 2 more fundamental quantities. But these 2 fundamental quantities are added to this list of 7 fundamental quantities. These 2 fundamental quantities are called supplementary quantities. Because in any book, whenever the book is published already, in order to give the some more information to the people who purchases this book, they keep one booklet in that book. That booklet is called supplementary book. Similarly, here the other 2 fundamental quantities are added later. That's why those 2 fundamental quantities are called the supplementary quantities. Those 2 supplementary quantities are supplementary quantities. Plane angle and solid angle. Of course, I will explain what is plane angle, solid angle. Here, plane angle is measured in radian. Symbol is just like omega. Okay. Solid angle is measured in steradian. Steradian, yes, small s, small r. Plane angle is measured in radian and solid angle is measured in steradian. Okay. Here, these 2 additionally added, these 2 quantities are called supplementary quantities. In this way, there are totally 7 fundamental quantities and 2 supplementary quantities. Okay, with the help of all these 7 plus 2 fundamental quantities, 7 fundamental plus 2 supplementary quantities, we can almost express any physical quantity in the universe. Okay, now what about this plane angle and solid angle? First, we will discuss in detail about plane angle. Plane angle. Suppose in a plane you imagine a circle. In a plane, you imagine a circle. You consider the 2 points in a plane on the circle, A and B. It is the center of the circle. The line joining this point and center, that is the radius vector. Here it is one more radius vector. Or these are the lines obtained by joining the 2 ends of the arc of the circle at the center. Then the angle between these 2 is called the plane angle. Angle between these 2 lines is called plane angle. Or it can be called as angle subtended by this arc AB at the center. This theta is called plane angle subtended by this arc at the center. Angle subtended by arc at the center means you join the 2 ends of the arc to the center and whatever the angle between these lines, that is called plane angle subtended by arc at the center. Therefore, plane angle subtended by arc at the center, theta is equal to arc by radius, no? Arc by radius. Okay, arc means AB by radius is a smaller. So smaller. Here, this is measured in radian. In SI system, this angle is measured in radian. Pi by 3 radian, pi radian, or pi by 6 radian, like that. Okay. Already I said, I think pi 2 pi radian. Symbol is capital C also. 2 pi radian. Or you write in detail. 2 pi radian is equal to 360 degree. Actually, radian is the SI unit, but this degree is the practical unit. For our convenience, we introduce the practical unit. Okay, 2 pi radians is considered as 360 degree. Or pi radian is equal to 180 degree now. Or 1 radian is equal to 180 degree by pi. Pi means 22 by 7. So 180 degree by pi means 22 by 7. If you simplify them, then approximately you will get 18 degree. What you will get? 180 degree by 180 degree by pi. Pi means 22 by 7. What you will get here after simplification? 54, 54.1, 54 or 57. You will get 54 degree. Here you will get 54.1, 54 degrees 16 minutes approximately. 54 degrees 16 minutes. Already I said 1 degree is considered as 60 minutes. Minutes means single primes. Power is 1. 1 actually we should not say that is 1. That is not 1 prime. That symbol. So 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Seconds will be represented with double prime. Seconds will be represented with double prime. So here 57 degrees 16 minutes, not 54.16. RAM socket. It's not 54.16. 54.16, not 57. Okay. 54 degrees 16 minutes. That is the answer. So 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So in this way, plane angle is measured. What about the 57 degree or 50? Okay, yes, 57 degree only. Okay, divide. Otherwise, you divide. Here you see 180 degree. You divide them. Here 180 degree by 22 by 7 means into 7. Okay. Approximately 7 3s are 3. Okay, 57 you will get. 57 degree. 57 degree 16 minutes. 57 degree 16 minutes you will get approximately. Okay, very good. 57 degree 16 minutes. Okay, so 1 radian is equal to, no, not 27. Okay, that is in points. 57.27 degree. But here I expressed in minutes now. So 57 degrees 17 minutes. 57 degrees 16 minutes. That is the value of 1 radian. Okay. Next, solid angle. What is the solid angle? Solid angle is represented with say phi. Solid angle is represented with omega symbol. Now it is not, of course, it is the symbol of ohm also. To measure the resistance, we use ohm. No, to measure the resistance, we use ohm. But here it is not the ohm symbol. It is the omega symbol. Solid angle is expressed represented with omega. So what is the solid angle? First we have to know what is the solid angle. You imagine like a cricket ball. You imagine a cricket ball. Okay. Here it is the cricket ball. You consider the small area on the surface of the cricket ball. It is the center of the sphere. On the surface of the sphere, you imagine a small area, some area. It is having some area, finite area. Okay, that small area considered is having some boundaries. No, suppose you take football. You imagine a football. Okay, on the surface of the football, we can see the black and white patches. No, black and white patches, isn't it? On the surface of the football, we can see the black and white patches. isn't it? Such type of one patch you imagine on the surface of the sphere. Just you think, okay? On the surface of the sphere, you imagine such type of one patch. The patch, of course, on the football, the patch is like this. The patch is like this on the football. I imagine any shape we can imagine. On the surface of the sphere, you imagine any shape, any arbitrary shape you imagine. Okay, okay. In case of football, you will get the shape of the patch like this, whether it is black or white. Okay, now from the edge here on the circumference of this patch, on the circumference of this patch, we can imagine number of points, no, infinite number of points like this, no, on the circumference. On the circumference, we can imagine infinite number of points on the circumference. Infinite, okay, regular hexagon in case of football. This is a regular hexagon. So here on the patch considered here, on the circumference of the patch considered here, we can imagine infinite number of points very close to each other. Here, what is the distance between this patch and the center? Every point here, because this every point on the patch considered, every point on the circumference of the patch considered is equidistant from the center, no? What is the distance of this patch from the center? That is equal to radius of the sphere only. It is in three-dimensional way you imagine. In three-dimensional way you imagine. Okay. Otherwise, I will draw in another form so that you can understand the diagram easily. Because somebody feel that how it becomes R, this is equal to R, no. In such way they are thinking. But we have to imagine three-dimensional way. You have to imagine in three-dimensional way so that you can get idea. If you are unable to imagine that one, then I will say, suppose this is a solid sphere. Okay, on the surface of the solid sphere, you imagine a circular patch. It is a circular patch on the surface of the solid sphere. On the solid sphere, you imagine a circular patch like this. I think you can have some more clarity. Okay, on the sphere of radius capital, you imagine a circular patch like this. This is the circular patch. On the circumference of the circular patch, we can imagine infinite number of points, no? You join each and every point. On the circumference of the circular patch and the center. You join each and every point on the circumference of the circular patch and the center. Then what is the shape you will get? What is the shape you will get? Anybody, you respond in chat box. Cone, very good. Here, when you join all the points on the circumference and the center, then you will get a conical form. You will get a cone. Okay, already you know cone ice cream, no? In that cone ice cream, there is an ice cream. Just you have the ice cream. Okay, had ice cream. Now, empty cone is remain. Just you cut the empty cone at one edge like this. Then you open. Here you see this is the cone remain. Just you cut the empty cone like this. Just you cut the empty cone like this up to vertex. Then you open them. Then you will get like this, no? When you open, if you fold like this, if you join these two ends like this, then it becomes a cone. But we cut the cone like this and it is open like this. Then whatever the angle between these two, that is the solid angle. That means here from one edge of here from one point along the circumference totally, the total angle subtended by this entire circumference at the center means this one. That is called solid angle. It is represented with omega. Here in the diagram we cannot understand directly. Here if you cut the cone like this and if you open, this angle is the solid angle. This angle is the solid angle. That means the total angle subtended by edges of entire cone at the center, that is called the solid angle. Okay, so how we can measure them? Solid angle omega is equal to, here suppose the distance of this patch considered, circular patch considered from the center is say of course that is equal to radius. The area of the circular patch is say capital A. Then area of the patch considered by distance of that patch considered from the center, that is equal to radius. That is equal to radius. Radius square. Distance square means radius square. This is the definition of the solid angle. Solid angle, what is the solid angle means? It is the ratio between the area considered by distance of the area from the center, square of the distance of the given surface area from the center. That is called the solid angle. The ratio between the area considered to the square of the distance of that area considered to the center. That is the solid angle. Okay. Here, what is the total solid angle subtended by entire sphere at the center? What is the total solid angle subtended by entire sphere at the center? What is the total solid angle subtended by entire sphere at the center? That means the area of the entire sphere, we have to write surface area of the entire sphere, we have to write by r square. What is the surface area of the entire sphere? Surface area of the entire sphere, 4 pi r square, no? Surface area of the entire sphere is 4 pi r square. So this area is equal to 4 pi r square by r square. R square cancels. So this is the 4 pi. This is the maximum solid angle. Maximum solid angle. So maximum solid angle. Maximum solid angle is equal to 4 pi steradian. 4 pi steradian. These two formulas are very, very important. Of course, they are not asking, but solid angle means immediately you must get idea. Solid angle is equal to area by this square of the distance of that area from the center. And maximum solid angle is equal to 4 pi steradian. Maximum solid angle is equal to 4 pi steradian. What is the solid angle subtended by hemisphere at the center? What is the solid angle subtended by hemisphere at the center? Hemisphere. Hemisphere means surface area is equal to 2 pi r square. 2 pi r square by r square. R square has to cancel. 2 pi. 2 pi steradian. So solid angle subtended by hemisphere at the center is equal to 2 pi steradian. So in this way we can measure. Okay. Of course, everything I will post in, I keep in YouTube so that you can revise if you want. Okay. Next important point. So far we have discussed different SI units, different fundamental quantities, etc. Okay, what are the derived quantities means already I said. Velocity. Velocity means displacement by time. That is the derived quantity. Okay, here we will discuss derived quantities. Derived quantity. I think we discussed in last class. Derived quantities. Here, velocity. Velocity is equal to displacement by time now. Displacement is nothing but length. Length by time. Displacement by time. Displacement is nothing but length. Length by time. Length is the fundamental quantity. Time is the fundamental quantity. So velocity is expressed in terms of two fundamental quantities now. That means velocity is derived from two fundamental quantities. Hence, it is a derived quantity. Okay. Similarly, linear momentum or simply momentum. Linear momentum. Next, acceleration, force, work, kinetic energy, potential energy, heat energy, specific heat. In this way, number of quantities are there. In this way, number of quantities are there. All these are derived quantities because all those quantities are derived from fundamental quantities. That's why these are called derived quantities. The units of derived quantities are called as the derived units. The units of derived quantities are called derived units. Okay, or the units which can be derived from fundamental units, they are called derived units. Okay, so in this way there are number of derived quantities are there. Already in our 10th, 9th standard, 6th standard, 5th standard, 7th standard, in all classes You have listened different derived quantities. Okay. Now we go to the new point, new topic in this chapter. Very, very important for mains also. Of course, for IP also it's very, very important. For mains also, it is very, very important. Okay. Derived unit means meter per second. Because velocity is the derived quantity, no? Velocity means displacement by time. Displacement unit is meter by time, second. Okay, that means meter per second. Meter per second is the derived unit. Newton or kilogram meter per second square. That is the derived unit. Acceleration unit, meter per second square. That is also the derived unit. In this way, there are different derived units. Next, very, very important topic, dimensional formulae. Dimensional formulae or dimensional equation. I forgot one point before discuss this dimensional formulae. Here, in case so far we have seen different derived units and fundamental units. Okay, in order to measure the force, we use Newton. In order to measure the energy, we use joule, or in CS system, erg. In this way, okay, in this way, there are different units are there. Okay, but some physical quantities, instead of measuring with different types of these units in SI system, they introduced some practical units for our convenience. For our convenience, they introduced the practical units. You know, wavelength of the wave. You see, this is one wave. The length of this wave means from this point to this point, it is called wavelength. Actually, wavelength is nothing but length that must be measured in meter. But meter is the large unit. When compared with wavelength here, the meter is large unit. That's why to measure the wavelength, they introduced the one more unit, that is a practical unit, angstrom or nanometer. Okay, 1 angstrom. That means a power degree. That is equal to 1 angstrom is 10 to the power minus 10 meter. 1 nanometer. Nano, N-A-N-O. 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. 1 picometer. Pico means 10 to the power minus 12 meter. Okay. Nanometer, angstrom, nanometer, picometer. 1 micrometer. Symbol micro, mu, m. That is equal to 10 to the power minus 6 meter. 1 millimeter, that is equal to 10 to the power minus 3 meter. 1 centimeter, 10 to the power minus 2 meter. Okay. In this way, of course, centimeter is the fundamental unit. Centimeter is the unit which was introduced by them only. But remaining all, millimeter, micrometer, next picometer, nanometer, angstrom, all these are the practical units. For convenience to us, they introduced the practical units. Okay, these are the practical units, not this one. These are the practical units. Okay, in order to measure some other distances like interplanetary distance in the space. That means to measure the distance between the planets or distance between the planet and sun. That distance between the planet and sun is not only in meters, that is very, very, very large. Even that is very large compared with kilometer also. Of course, that kilometer is also there. 1 kilometer means 1000 meter. 1 km, 1000 meter. This kilometer is the practical unit. It has no any system. It is the practical unit. We generally measure the distance between the Vijayawada and Hyderabad or Vijayawada Guntur like that in kilometers only, not in meters or not in centimeters or not in millimeters, because it is very large distance. That's why they introduced one more practical unit, kilometer, to measure the distance, large distances. But compared with this kilometer also, there is very, very large distance are there, like interplanetary distances. Distance between the planets, distance between the planet and the sun, there are some lakhs of kilometer distance are there. That's why in order to measure the distance between the planet and sun or interplanetary distances, they introduced the one more unit, light year. Light year. 1 light year. Light year is the Light year is the unit to measure the interplanetary distance. The definition is also in the same. The distance traveled by the light in 1 year, that is called the light year. When you switch on the light, then in 1 year, through what distance it can travel? What is the speed of the light? 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. With that speed, in 1 year, what is the distance traveled? 1 year means how many seconds? 1 year means 365 days into 24 hours into 60 minutes into 60 seconds. Approximately, simplification gives 3 into 10 to the power of 7 seconds. 3 into 1 year is equal to approximately 3 into 10 to the power of 7 seconds. Of course, 2.99 you will get. 2.99 into 10 to the power of 7 seconds. That is approximately 3 into 10 to the power of 7 seconds. 1 year means. So 1 year is equal to 1 year is equal to approximately nearly equal to or approximately 3 into 10 to the power of 7 seconds. So 1 light year means distance traveled by the light in 1 year means in this second, in this time. Speed of the light into time taken means 1 year. Speed means 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second into time. 1 year means 3 into 10 to the power of 7 seconds. So that is equal to approximately 9 into 10 to the power of 15 meters. That means this distance is considered as a light year. So light year means distance traveled by the light in 1 year. That is called the light year. One more unit is also introduced. Astronomical unit. One astronomical unit. Astronomical unit. That means actually how we can define the astronomical unit means it is the distance between the average distance between the earth and sun. That is considered as the astronomical unit. Already you know, in case of ellipse I discussed it. At one of the focus point, sun is there and earth makes revolutions around the sun in an elliptical orbit. At one position, the earth is farthest from the sun. The position of the earth when it is farthest from the sun is called apogee, and when it is the nearest, when it is at the nearest point to the sun, that is called perigee. Distance between apogee and distance between the apogee and sun, that is r1. Distance between the sun and perigee, that is r2. R1 plus R2 by 2, that is the mean distance. Okay, so here, so one astronomical unit means the mean distance of the earth from the sun, that is called the astronomical unit. This is also one more unit to measure the interplanetary distance. These all are the practical units to measure the distance. I think we could understand units. Okay, next, to measure the unit in CS system, what is the unit of energy in CS system? To measure the energy in CS system, what is the unit? Erg. Okay. To measure the energy in CS system, unit is erg. In SI system, joule. Okay, these are the units generally we know. 1 joule is equal to how many erg? 1 joule is equal to 10 to the power of 7 erg. Similarly, to measure here, joule and erg, these are the units of energy we know in CS system and SI system. But to measure the energy, some other units are also introduced. Those are practical units. Kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour. Kilowatt hour is the unit of energy, practical unit of energy. Kilowatt hour is the practical unit of energy. Okay. Kilowatt hour is the practical unit of energy. So 1 kilowatt hour is equal to how many joule? Kilo means 10 to the power of 3 we can write. Watt means joule per second. Watt means hour. Hour is equal to work by time now. Work means joule, by time means second. Hour means 60 minutes into 60 seconds. Here this second cancel. 3600 into 10 to the power of 3 means 36 into 10 to the power of 5 we can write now, joules. So 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 36 into 10 to the power of 5 joule, because 1 kilowatt hour means 1 kilo means 10 to the power of 3. Watt means joule per second. Okay, hour means how many seconds means 60 into 60 seconds. This second cancel. So remaining 16 to 16 to 10 to the power of 3 joule. That means simplification gives 36 into 10 to the power of 5 joule. It is also the practical unit. Tell me any one other practical unit of energy. Tell me any other practical unit of, one more practical unit of energy. I think you have studied in case of electrons revolve around the nucleus in an orbit. Electron revolve around the nucleus in an orbit. They have some energy. That is also the practical unit of energy. What is the practical unit of energy? ESU. No, unit I am saying. No. Electron energy of the orbiting electron is not measured in joule. Electron volt. The symbol for electron volt is this one. 1 electron volt is equal to how many joule? Of course, I will send totally notes to you. Okay. 1 electron volt is equal to how many joule? 1 electron volt is equal to whatever the charge of the electron. What is the charge of the electron? What is the charge of the electron? Can anybody say? I will unmute all. Abhiram, you say. Abhiram.
0.602.
1.6 into 19. Okay.
1.6
Right. 1 electron volt is equal to whatever the charge of the electron, that much joules. 1.6 into 10 power of minus 19 joules. It is the lowest unit of energy. We are having units of a number of units of energy. Among them, the lowest unit of energy is electron volt, which is equal to 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 power of minus 19 joule. 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into, of course, 1.602. That exact value is there, but in physics we use approximate value. Actually, 1.60217 something is there. So here approximately it is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule. That is the lowest unit of energy. In this way, there are different types of practical units are also there. Okay, here to measure the pressure, actually we are having Newton per meter square or dyne per centimeter square. But we measure in the mercury levels now. We measure in mercury levels now. What is the atmospheric pressure? 76 cm of Hg. Generally, we used to say 76 cm of Hg. But its value is approximately 1.01 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square. But we won't say like that. What is the atmospheric pressure? Means simply we say 76 cm of Hg. Because that is the practical unit of that pressure, atmospheric pressure. In this way, number of practical units are introduced. Okay, among them, the important practical units I discussed so far. Okay, now we have to discuss dimensional equation. We have to discuss the dimensional equation. Here, suppose, what is the unit of length? In any system you say, suppose in SI system you say, what is the unit of length? Meter. Unit of length in CS system? Centimeter. Unit of length in FPS system? Foot. Okay. Unit of length in FPS system, foot. Instead of measuring the length in different systems with different units, all those units are given a symbol. The unit of length, centimeter, meter, or foot, that is given a symbol capital L, because those are the units of length. That's why it is given a symbol capital L. Capital L means it is not length, it is the unit of length. You remember that point. Capital L is the unit of length, not the symbol of length, because instead of centimeter, meter, or foot, we have given a symbol capital L. That's why capital L is the unit of length, but not symbol for length. That is very, very important. Okay, so capital L is the unit of length, not symbol of length. Symbol of length means small l, etc. We generally represent, but capital L is the unit of length. Okay. Similarly, what is the unit of mass in CS system? Unit of mass in CS system, centimeter. In SI system, meter. In FPS system, pound. Okay. In this way, in different systems, different units are there for the mass. Instead of expressing the mass in different units, all those units are given a single one symbol, that is capital M, because that gram, kilogram, pound, all these are the units of mass. That's why it is given a symbol capital M. Here capital M means it is not the symbol of mass, it is the symbol for unit of the mass. This symbol capital M may be gram, kilogram, or pound. This length L, yes, sorry, this symbol L is the centimeter, meter, or foot. So this capital L is given in FPS system, means immediately you have to say L is the foot. If this capital L is in SI system, means L is the meter. If capital L is in CS system, means L is the centimeter. That's why these are the units, not symbols of length. These are the units only, because it is the unit. If it is in CS system, it is centimeter. If it is in SI system, it is in meter. If it is in FPS system, it is foot. Okay. Similarly, for time, the unit of time in any system, it is second. Instead of writing second, the second is given a symbol capital T. So, of course, in any system, capital T means second only. So, capital T means second, not the time. What is capital T means? That is the second, not the time. Okay. Now, okay, capital T is the second, not the time. Okay. Now, suppose I want to express the velocity. I want to write the velocity. What is the unit of velocity in SI system? Formula for velocity is displacement by time. Formula for velocity is displacement by time. Okay. Here, what is the unit of displacement in any system? What is the, here I want to know the what is the unit of this velocity? Velocity is the derived quantity, no? Velocity is the derived quantity. Okay. So that is expressed in terms of fundamental quantities like displacement and time. Now I want to know the unit of this derived quantity, velocity. So to know the unit of this velocity, first, what is the unit of this displacement in any system? Displacement is the length. So unit of length is capital L, no? So capital L by unit of time, capital T. So this is equal to L power 1 t to the power of minus 1. Okay. Here, this gives unit of this velocity, no? Suppose this is in CS system. This is in CS system. Then what is the unit of velocity? This L t to the power of minus 1 is in CS system. Then what is the unit of velocity? L means centimeter, T means second. Centimeter second inverse or centimeter per second. That is the unit of this derived quantity, no? These are the LT means these are the units of length and time. That means these are the fundamental units. These are the fundamental units. Okay. These are the fundamental units. It is a derived quantity. So when you write this equation, by this equation, the unit of derived quantity can be known, no? Unit of derived quantity means, suppose this formula is in CS system. Then what is the unit of derived quantity means? In CS system, L means centimeter, time means second, this T means second minus 1. So centimeter per second. That means here this formula gives the unit of a derived quantity, no? In this formula, LT means these are the fundamental units. Because in CS system means it is centimeter, gram, second. That means fundamental units only, no? So these are the fundamental units. Of course, these are also the fundamental units. Here in this equation, the fundamental units are raised to certain powers to obtain the unit of a derived quantity. To obtain the unit of a derived quantity. That's why this type of equation is called the dimensional formula or dimensional equation. Okay. So the equation showing the powers to which fundamental units are raised to obtain the unit of a derived quantity That is called dimensional formula or dimensional equation. The equation showing the power to which fundamental units are raised to obtain the unit of a derived quantity. That is called the dimensional formula. The equation showing the powers, to which fundamental units are raised to obtain the unit of a derived quantity. The unit of a derived quantity is called dimensional equation or dimensional formula. Equation or formula. It is the definition of the dimensional formula. The equation showing the power to which fundamental units are raised to obtain the unit of a derived quantity. That is called the dimensional formula. Now, what is the dimensional formula of velocity? Velocity examples we will discuss. Velocity v is equal to, one example, velocity v is equal to displacement by time. Okay. Now, what is the dimensional formula of velocity? Means we have to represent like this. In square brackets, you write v. That indicates dimensional formula of velocity. So, dimensional formula of velocity is equal to dimensional formula of s by t. You keep in square brackets. You split them. Dimensional formula of displacement by dimensional formula of time. So, what is the dimensional formula of displacement? Dimensional formula of displacement means that is the symbol of unit of displacement, that is equal to, already I said, it is the displacement means it is the length, no? So what is the dimensional formula of displacement? L, because unit of displacement is centimeter, meter or foot. The symbol for them, for the units is L. That's why dimensional formula of displacement is L. By dimensional formula of time is capital T. Therefore, dimensional formula of velocity is equal to L t to the power of minus 1, we can write. If power is not there, means it is 1. L to the power of 1, t to the power of minus 1. But generally, the dimensional formula is expressed at least in terms of 3 fundamental units, m, l, t. But m is not there. If m is not there, we can write like this, no? M to the power of 0, L to the power of 1, t to the power of minus 1, we can write, no? So this is the dimensional formula of velocity. In this way, we have to write. Okay, similarly, second one, dimensional formula of linear momentum. Linear momentum. Linear momentum is represented as small p. Then what is the formula for linear momentum? What is the formula for linear momentum? Mass into velocity. Mass into velocity. Okay. Dimensional formula of linear momentum is equal to dimensional formula of mass into dimensional formula of velocity. Dimensional formula of mass means capital M, no? Dimensional formula of velocity means again we have to write like this and we have to obtain like this. Otherwise, dimensional formula of velocity, if you know directly, you substitute directly. L to the power of 1, t to the power of minus 1. That's all. If powers are not there, means m to the power of 1, L to the power of 1, t to the power of minus 1. This is the dimensional formula of momentum. In this way, for various physical quantities, we can write the dimensional formula. Okay. Next, here we see, here, this is the equation showing the power to which these fundamental units, because M, L, T, these are the units, fundamental units. It is, suppose in CS system, it is M means gram, centimeter, second. That means these are the fundamental units, no? To know the unit of a derived quantity, the fundamental units are raised to certain values. Then we got an equation. Such equation is called dimensional formula. That's why the equation showing the power to which fundamental units are raised to obtain the unit of a derived quantity, that is called the dimensional formula. Here it is the dimensional formula. Okay, next, the powers means 1, 1, minus 1 here, or here 1, minus 1. The powers to which fundamental units are raised to obtain the unit of a derived quantity. The powers to which fundamental units are raised. Here this fundamental unit, m is raised to 1, L is raised to 1, T is raised to minus 1. The fundamental units are raised to 1, 1, minus 1 here to obtain the unit of a derived quantity. Those powers are called dimensions. So next heading, dimensions. Dimensions means the powers to which fundamental units are raised to obtain the unit of a derived quantity. That is called the dimension. The powers to which fundamental units are raised. Fundamental units are raised to obtain the unit of a derived quantity. Is called dimensions. Okay, now here you see what is the dimension of mass in momentum, because it is a dimensional formula of momentum. No? What is the dimension of mass in momentum? Means dimension of mass in momentum means the power of unit of mass in momentum. That is the dimension of mass in momentum. So dimension of mass in momentum. Dimension of mass in momentum means in the dimensional formula of momentum, whatever the power of m, that is the dimension of mass in momentum, it is equal to 1. Then what is the dimension of time in momentum? Dimension of time in momentum, very good Daksha, minus 1. Immediately he responded, minus 1. So dimension of mass in momentum is 1. Dimension of time in momentum is minus 1. Dimension of time in momentum is minus 1. Okay. Similarly, here one more example, 3, acceleration. Acceleration. A is equal to change in velocity by time. Now, change in velocity or velocity both are same by time. Now, dimensional formula of acceleration is equal to dimensional formula of velocity by dimensional formula of time. Already dimensional formula of velocity we know, L t to the power of minus 1. For some simple formulas, for simple physical quantities, we have to remember the dimensional formula. For velocity, linear momentum, acceleration, force, work. At least we have to remember the dimensional formulas for these 3. Of course, we will derive, but we have to remember. For any other quantity, if they ask to write the dimensional formula, we can write directly. Okay. So this is equal to L to the power of minus 1 by time means capital T. That is the unit of time. Okay. Now, L t to the power of minus 2 you will get now. If L power is not there means 1. Or this can be written as M is not there now. So M to the power of 0, L to the power of 1, t to the power of minus 2. It is the dimensional formula of acceleration. It is the dimensional formula of acceleration. Okay. Now, what is the dimension of time in acceleration? What is the dimension of time in acceleration? Very good. Dimension of time in acceleration means in acceleration dimension formula, power of time is how much means minus 2. So that is the dimension of time in acceleration. Therefore, dimension of time in acceleration is equal to minus 2. What is the dimension of mass in acceleration? Dimension of mass in acceleration. Dimension of mass in acceleration. Okay. Dimension of mass in acceleration means power of mass in acceleration means 0. So 0. In this way, we can write the dimensions of different quantities in given physical quantity. Okay. Now, here some physical constant. Actually, physical constants do not have the dimensional formula, but some physical quantities have dimensional formula. In this way, for various physical quantities, we can write the dimensional formula. Of course, I will explain some more also. Some more I will explain. force. F is equal to mass into acceleration. Now, we want to write the dimensional formula of force. How we can write? Dimensional formula of force is equal to dimensional formula of mass into dimensional formula of acceleration. Dimensional formula of mass means capital M power 1. Dimensional formula of acceleration means L t to the power of minus 2. Just only we derive. So power L means 1 here. Power of L is 1. So M L t to the power of minus 2 is the dimensional formula of force. What is the dimension of length in force? Dimension of length in force. Dimension of length in force. 1. Dimension of time in force. Dimension of time in force minus 2. Dimension of mass in force. Dimension of mass in force means this power. Okay. Similarly, work. Work is equal to, what is the formula? Force into displacement. So dimensional formula of work is equal to dimensional formula of force into dimensional formula of displacement. Dimensional formula of force means just we got M L t to the power of minus 2. Displacement means it is nothing but length. Dimensional formula of length is L. So this is equal to M L square t to the power of minus 2. Of course, here power 1 we can write. Next, dimensional formula of kinetic energy. Kinetic energy K is equal to half mv square is the formula. First of all, for which physical quantity we have to write the dimensional formula? First, you write the formula for that physical quantity. Okay. So we want to write the dimensional formula of kinetic energy. So first you write the formula for kinetic energy. Then dimensional formula of kinetic energy is equal to dimensional formula of, you write the formula. Okay. Then dimensional formula of kinetic energy is equal to, here this is half is the number. Number has no dimensional formula. Number has no dimensional formula. You leave them. Remaining dimensional formula of mv square. Dimensional formula of m means capital M. Dimensional formula of velocity means L t to the power of minus 1 for velocity. Square is there. Square. So this is equal to m L square t to the power of minus 2. Power 1. So here dimensional formula of kinetic energy is equal to this one. If you see dimensional formula of work done, dimensional formula of kinetic energy, both are equal now. Dimensional formula of work done. Okay. Dimensional formula of work done and dimensional formula of kinetic energy, both are equal now. Okay, I go slow somewhat, a little bit. Dimensional formula of work done is ml square t to the power of minus 2. Dimensional formula of kinetic energy is equal to ml square t to the power of minus 2. That means both are having same dimensional formula. Sometimes in objective or in MSET or in IPE, they may ask, name any two physical quantities having same dimensional formula. Name any two physical quantities having same dimensional formula. They may ask. Then we can write work and kinetic energy. Both are having same dimensional formula, no? So we have to write the answer work and energy, kinetic energy. Not only kinetic energy, any kind of energy is having same dimensional formula. You take kinetic energy, potential energy, pressure energy, heat energy, okay, electrical energy, any kind of energy you take. Dimensional formula is ml square t to the power of minus 2. Okay, that's why name any two physical quantities having same dimensional formula. Yes, kinetic energy and work. Kinetic energy and work both are having same dimensional formula. So name any two physical quantities having same dimensional formula means we can write. What is the formula for impulse? Impulse. I think somebody told me also. Some of you know this impulse also. What is the formula for impulse? Impulse J is equal to force into time. Impulse J is equal to force into time. Okay, you know. Do you know? Impulse is equal to force into time. Do you know? Do you know the formula for impulse? Okay. So F into T. Now, what is the dimensional formula of impulse? Is equal to F means already we got dimensional formula of force is equal to already we got here. So you see ml t to the power of minus 2. ml t to the power of minus 2 into time means capital T. So this is equal to ml t to the power of minus 1. Powers are not there means we can write 1 1. So dimensional formula of impulse is equal to this one. Already same dimensional formula we have seen for momentum. Dimensional formula of momentum, small p is equal to dimensional formula of mass into velocity, because momentum is mass into velocity, no? So dimensional formula of mass means capital M. Dimensional formula of velocity means L t to the power of minus 1. So power 1, power 1. So these two are same now. So name any two physical quantities having same dimensional formula means we can write impulse and momentum or work and kinetic energy. In this way, we can write. Okay, next. Today evening from 6 o'clock, I will take one more class. Okay. Today evening, I will take one more class from 6 to 7. Evening 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I will take one more class. Okay, because we have to go somewhat slow. Okay, that's why the schedule will not be completed if you do not take extra class. That's why I will take extra class. Okay, all of you try to be in the class exactly sharply at 6 o'clock. All of you try to attend the class, because this is only the important to us, not other. Okay, in this week only I will take extra classes. In this week, from next week onwards, I won't take extra class. I will complete in time. Okay, right. In this way, we can write the dimensional formulas for various physical quantities, and we are having name any two physical quantities having same dimensional formula means already we observed so far. Okay, next. In this way, suppose sometimes actually I said 1 by 2 is having no dimensional formula because it is the number. Some physical constants are also not having any dimensional formula, but some physical constants are having dimensional formula. Name any physical constant having dimensional formula. Physical constant means in the proportionality relation only we will get some constant. Some proportionality constants are having dimensions, like universal gravitational constant, okay, universal gas constant, Planck's constant. This type of constants are having dimensional formulas also. Okay, so universal gravitational constant, physical constants having dimensional formulae. Physical constants having dimensions. Physical constants having dimensions. Do you know the gravitational force between the two bodies having some masses? Do you know the gravitational force between the two bodies having some masses? Gravitational force between the two bodies having some masses m1 and m2. Suppose two bodies having masses m1 and m2 separated by a distance say small r. Because of their masses, some attraction force is there between the two bodies. For example, on the surface of the earth at certain height, you keep the body or stone. When you release them, is it falls or is it stays there only? It falls, no? How it falls? Would not push that body downwards. But because of earth attracts the body towards them, that body comes down, that stone comes down. Such force with which earth attracts the body, that is called gravitational force of attraction. It is because of mass. It is because of mass of the two bodies. So it was found that Newton found that the force between the two bodies because of their masses, which is called gravitational force, that gravitational force between two bodies is directly proportional to product of mass of the bodies and inversely proportional to square of the distance between the two bodies. The force between the two bodies because of their masses is called gravitational force between them. That gravitational force between the two bodies is directly proportional to product of their masses and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. Okay, or F is equal to some proportional, F is proportional to, we can write, combine these two, we can write m1 m2 by r square, or F is equal to some proportionality constant capital G into m1 m2 by r square. This proportionality constant capital G, that is called universal gravitational constant. universal gravitational constant. Universal gravitational constant. This universal gravitational constant is also having dimension formula. Okay, so here last point, just we write the dimension formula for universal gravitational constant and we conclude the class. Okay, most of the students asking to take the class from 4 to 5. Okay, I will take as your wish. I will take from 4 to 5 only. I don't have any schedule at that time, so I will take 4 to 5 only. Okay, 4 to 5. Better to take 4 to 5 because after evening you will be having a clear plan to study anything. Okay. In past, I have taken the class at 6 o'clock. Now I will take from 4 to 5 because when I take from 4 to 5, some of the people may be satisfied. Already 6 to 7 I have taken already. Okay, for you people. For the remaining people, I will take from 4 to 5. Okay. Now, dimension formula of universal gravitational constant we have to write. That's why for which physical quantity we have to write the dimension formula. Then you write the formula for that. Dimension formula of G we have to find. That's why G is equal to something you write. From this equation, what is G? Capital G is equal to, you do cross multiplication. Fr square by M1, M2. Now we have to write the dimensional formula of universal gravitational constant. So dimensional formula of universal gravitational constant is equal to dimensional formula of total this product. For various physical quantities, you substitute the dimensional formulas here. Dimensional formula of force means already we derived M L T to the power of -2. Dimensional formula of R is L. Square is there because R is the distance between these two bodies. Okay, by R is the distance between these two bodies. M1, M2 are the masses. M into M, M square. Here M square cancel. Therefore, dimensional formula of universal gravitational constant is equal to M. You write in the numerator. So M inverse L into L square, L cube, T to the power of -2. This is the dimensional formula of universal gravitational constant. Name any physical constant having dimensional formula means we can write universal gravitational constant. Similarly for Planck's constant. Suppose if you want to write the dimensional formula of the Planck's constant, then first you have to write in which equation dimensional formula Planck's constant is involved. You write the equation for that first. In which equation Planck's constant is involved, you write that equation first. Okay, E is equal to H nu. E is equal to H nu. Okay, implies Planck's constant H is equal to E by nu. No, nu means frequency. Frequency means reciprocal of time period. H is equal to E by nu means frequency. E means energy by nu means frequency. Okay, E by frequency means reciprocal of time period. That is equal to E into T, you will get no. So E into T. Now dimensional formula of Planck's constant is equal to dimensional formula of energy into time period. Dimensional formula of energy means already we derived previously just now. So that is equal to ml square T to the power of -2 into dimensional formula of time period. Time period is nothing but time. So dimension of time, capital T. Therefore, this is equal to m L square T to the power of -1. It is the dimensional formula of Planck's constant. Dimensional formula of Planck's constant. Okay. Dimensional formula of Planck's constant. Okay. Last one, dimensional formula of angular momentum. I will conclude with this. Dimensional formula of angular momentum. Angular momentum is represented with capital L. Okay. What is the formula for angular momentum? Do you know? In Bohr's postulates, angular momentum is there. MVR. In Bohr's postulate, angular momentum is there. Okay. No time. Okay. Angular momentum is MVR, where mass of the electron, V is the speed of the electron in the orbit, R is the radius of the orbit, we know. Okay. Now dimensional formula of angular momentum is equal to M means capital M, velocity means L T to the power of -1 into L. That is equal to M L square T to the power of -1. Here M power is not there means 1. So dimensional formula of angular momentum is equal to okay. Dimensional formula of angular momentum is equal to ml square t to the power of minus 1. Dimensional formula of Planck's constant is equal to ml square t to the power of minus 1. That's why Planck's constant and angular momentum both are having same dimensional formula. So name any two physical quantities having same dimensional formula means we can write angular momentum Planck's constant, work kinetic energy, potential energy, kinetic energy, heat energy. Like that we can write. Okay, right. Now I complete the concluding this class. In next at 4 o'clock we will meet again. Okay, now you may be having mathematics chemistry class, I think. Okay, I'm signing out. Have a nice day.